Welcome to Python Game Development Build 5 Professional Games. First of all, to get rolling, let's see some of the top games made with Python. World of Wars, Sims 4, Civilization 4, Battlefield 2, and list goes on and on. Speaking of game industry, Python is highly appreciated language as it has supports for graphical user interface. It has extensive arrays of libraries to facilitate game development. It is highly dynamics and it has supports for other languages also. But this course is not only about just a game development, but to make you proficient in every aspects of Python programming language. And you may ask how we are going to do it. Obviously, by making fun and real-world games. In the journey of making games, we are going to cover various Python topics like functional programming, object-oriented programming, decorators, data structures, comprehensions, and so on. Are you intimidated just by listening all of these Python topics? Please don't be. In fact, I'm going to cover each of these topics one by one, assuming as you haven't coded anything before. So, by taking this course, you would get benefit in two ways. If you end up getting job in gaming industry, you can use it for the side jobs like add-ons and internal scripting. And believe me, they are also good paid jobs. Second, if you want to become proficient in Python, but not through some boring lectures, instead by creating some fun games which you can play, create and publish, then this course is for you. This course is project based and we are going to cover around 6 different real world projects. Now let's get some insights of our projects. Hit that enroll now button and I will see you on the other side. Python is an outstanding language for people learning to program and perfect for anyone wanting to get stuff done and not spend heaps of time on boilerplate code. Pygame is a Python library for creating 2D video games that is easy to start with and very capable as you gain experience. In this module of game development, I will explain you how to start with using Python and Pygame to start programming video games. Several mini games on the way through, but I want to show you some sneak peeks of some of the game that we are going to make in this course. So first of all, we are going to make this Pac-Man which is capable of just running in any direction and handle the events. And the next game that we are going to make is Dodge the Car Race game. And this is also some important game. Some of the aspects of Pygame will be covered on the entire course. And we are going to cover several mini games on the way through. See you in the course. In this section, we are going to implement chain reaction game. And we are going to do it from scratch. So you can see this is the outcome of this section. So we have this complete chain reaction game. If you haven't played, what I suggest you to do is you can also download it for Android. Although it is not available in online to play, you can just download it from the Android mobile and you can search as a chain reaction and you can play on your own. And the clone is what we are going to make in this section, the clone of chain reaction. So you can go online and check this chain reaction game. You will find this, that is a link. Let me show you chain reaction, and it is only available in Android. So you can just play it and you can just search and play for your game. But now I will show you how to create this complete chain reaction game. But before that, in this introduction video of a chain reaction, let me show you the overview of this game. So you can see we have this matrix over here. We can also say it as a grid. So this is a grid like structure where there are rows and columns. So if you have any that is problem understanding about the rows and column, so you can see this horizontal thing here, each of these cell, or you can also see this box. So each of these box are combined, and whenever you transverse, whenever you go from here, that is in left to right direction, you will see that you have the complete rows. So from left to right you have a rows, and from that is up to down you have a columns. So we have here, you can see, counting from this point to this point, we have 10 rows and 10 columns. So that means we have these 10 horizontal lines and 10 vertical, that is columns. So you can see this is the grid that we are going to implement first of all. And our gameplay is really simple. We have a 4-player basically. So that means it is a multiplayer game. And now you can see whenever I just play and whenever I play with the mouse, so basically we have to use the mouse as an option, as an input that can be given to the, that is the game, in order to play. And whenever I press from the mouse and whenever I press the mouse button, then you will see that I will add this atom, and you can see it is vibrating. Now as soon as you add any one atom, you can see the background of your grid changed its color. So if you remember, initially its color was red. Now we can see its color has changed into green. So that means now you can clearly see we have changed the player movement. So that means the next person that will be playing will be green. So he can't place his atom. So you can see these vibrating things can be called as an atom. So now next player can't put the same atom in the place where the first player has put. So he should just place it in some another cell or in the some another box. So now if I put in this box, then you can see the green has just used its play, and it's now the turn of the purple. Now he can also not use this cell because it is already occupied. He can only use another cell. Now since there are 4 players, now it's time for the last one, which is yellow player, and he can just put somewhere here, which is at empty places. Now you'll see that we have the player that will be playing for the red. So now red player back in the first players, because the first player was red. Now red player can put the next atom at the top of it or in any other vacant places. So if I just put at the top of it, you can see our 2 atom has been adjusted and vibrating one with another. So this is the 2 atoms. Now again it's turned for the green because our background has turned into green. Now if I put in this location, you can see it is valid because it is not occupied. Now it's turned for again the purple. So purple can go in somewhere here maybe. Now it's turned for yellow, and yellow can be placed at the top of it. You can see now here. And again now it's back the turn of red because the background has turned, the background of this grid structure has turned into red. Now what I will do is I'll put another atom at the top of these 2 atom. So let me just press again the mouse button, then you will see the 3 atom has been placed. Now it's time for the green again, and if I put here for the green and purple here and again yellow here, now you can clearly see it's time again for this red one. Now you can see we can add the next atom right at the top of it, but what happens is whenever we put the atom, there is no any places. So that means there will be overflow of the atom. Atoms cannot be resided, that is more than 3 at the same place. So the maximum atom that can be reside in the single place is 3. So now whenever I try to put another atom at this that is a pretty occupied place, now you will see what happens. So as soon as I put it, it will get basically disintegrated into the 4 atoms. So let me show you. So if I just place here, that is the another one, then you will see that something happened. Our initially the atom was here, 3 atoms. So you can see here it was like this, and atoms were combining here. Now as soon as I put this, the atoms number become 4 because that was a new one, and there is already 3 atom that is at the beginning. Now 3 plus 1 becomes 4 because the next atom which we added was 1. So final become 4. So what happens if there is overflow? So all of those atoms, that is one of each of these 4, will be disintegrated in its adjacent side. So that means one will go up here, one will go here, one over here, and one over here. And now if you remember, at the first this place was occupied by green, so there were 2 green at these places, but that is the red will just combine those 2 and it will convert it into its own red color. So now the player that only resides at the end, that is if this red player eats all the atom of any other that is color, then red player wins. So that means the one which will last till the end will only win. So you can see this is the chain reaction game. It is very popular multiplayer game. You can check out in Android, and you have also different options to play, and you can play and just see the logic. So basically I have only shown you the logic, how we are going to just implement this game. So first of all, our aim will be to create this grid, which is this row and column structure. These boxes, you can see these boxes. So 10 by 10 boxes. To create these boxes will be our main, that is work, which is the first one. And after creating these boxes, the next step will be to make the player and let them add the atom in this view. So that will be our second aim. So in this way, we have now just completed the introduction part of the game. Now in the upcoming lecture, we will try to implement it from the scratch. See you in the next one. So this is the game that we are going to cover in this lecture. So this section will cover all the concepts of Pygame, collision, handling, and game loops. We are going to create this screen, we are going to deal with the spreadsheets, and we are going to create game objects based on our own programming logic. We are going to implement this score system right here. We are going to do many things while learning this project. We are going to import the sound. We are going to make sure that whenever sound is given, then it is imported, and sound can be played for the bullet, any spaceship, and so on. The movement for the player can be in any direction. The spaceship of player can go in upward, left, right, down direction. We are going to handle the events custom. And similarly, this project is quite simple to make, but we are going to learn so many concepts like collision and spreadsheets, game objects, and Python programming while creating this lecture. So this lecture will be very interesting to make. We are going to make it from scratch, and this section is all about just creating this game and playing and just making sure that we learn each and every programming paradigm of Python completely using Pygame and fun games like Space Shooter. So see you in the lecture. Welcome to this fun and exciting project of Solitaire. So what we are going to do in this lecture is build this complete game from scratch, and we are going to do it by ourselves by just using Pygame module. So we have learned the Pygame module from basic to advanced lectures. Now we are going to apply it and make this advanced project. So if you have any confusion regarding how to play this game and all, I have created a video regarding how to play Solitaire game and how to know some of these decision making process beforehand if you want to code it from scratch. Now let's talk about this games. You can see this tableau that has been rendered from first tableau to the last. Similarly, we have these stock piles. We have the 4 foundation piles. So in these 4 foundation piles, our main objective is to add the basic card from the S, which is having the lowest rank card, which is going to be S, to all the way king, which is having highest ranks, and we are going to do that in the ascending order. So just remember, the first card over here should be S. So the base of our foundation should be S, and this should have the same suits. So what do you mean by suits is, if you have the heart of S in this foundation pile, the next card should be 2 of this heart and 3 of this heart at the top of it, all the way king of the heart. So in the second foundation, the base of this foundation should be S, and if you put the S here, let's say I put the diamond over here, so next card at the top of it should be 2 of diamond and 3 of diamond and so on up till to king of diamonds, which will have highest rank. I have talked about it, all the concepts of Solitaire, like those cards which have the highest rank and lowest rank on the video that will be named as how to play Solitaire game. Just check that game beforehand if you want to know the logic and all. Just don't dive into these lectures before learning how to play this game, because if you want to make the game, first of all you play the game, you see the logic, you brainstorm the logic, then after you'll feel comfortable and easy to make this game. So first of all, you can see this is our main objective of a game, to completely fill up these 4 foundations with the card which will have the same suits, and the card should rank from S till the king of the same suits. So that is all in this foundation. In the case of tableau, you can see in our game we can just move our card. Let's say I want to move this 3 at this 4, then I just press this 3 and put it over here, then you can see our 3 has been moved. So this way we are going to make a logic, and if you want to move this jack which has this lower rank than queen, then I can move this from here to here. You can see jack has been successfully moved. So the main logic over here in the tableau piles is you have to rank, that is the card that will have opposite color, and that should be from, that is descending order. So this should be in descending order. So you can see over here, in the case of foundation, you put it in the ascending order. In the case of this tableau from 1 to 7, you put and order the card in the descending order. So if you have jack over here, next card should be 10, and this should have the different color than its base card, which is, you can see the jack is given a color of red, so this 10 over here should have the black color. They can either be spade or they can be either the clubs. So this way we are going to play the game, and next piles over here we are going to create from scratch is this stock piles. So this stock piles is a helpful guide for us. If I want to just place this, you will see it is going to give us this card which we can place in either of these tableau or in this foundation based on our game logic. So we are going to create it from scratch. You can see 4 of these piles. This one is foundations. This is our main game objective. We have to fill this foundation from S of the card till the king of a card, and similarly we have this tableau in order to help us to fill these foundations. We have these stocks, and this will just give us some of these, that is extra card, in order to help us with these games and with this filling of these tableaus and these foundations. You have these 2 buttons over here. You can see undo and pause button. Pause button will pause this game, and undo button here is going to just go on the previous step. So if I see here, basically our last step was we moved this jack from here. So we moved from this jack from here to this position. But now if I do undo, then you will see that jack has been moved to its original position. So undo is basically reverting back to the previous state, and we are going to code this also. And you can see here, if I just move this jack now over here, it is valid. Now you will see that this jack cannot be put at the top of this queue because they has the same, that is color. If they has the same color, they can't be put one top of each other. In the case of same color, it should be in the foundation, but not in the case of tableau. Just remember 2 logic here. The main rule of a game is you need to fill these foundations, and it should be done from S, which is the card, till the king of a card in this foundation, but it is basically opposite in the case of these tableaus. So these tableaus should not have the same suits. Just in case of this, that is foundation, we should have the same suits. So if this was the spot of diamond, only the diamond card be put in this foundation. But in the case of tableau, if it was heart, then the next card should not be of heart. So this is what we have in the tableau. So just remember, in the case of foundation, there is some logic, and the opposite logic, like rendering the card or placing the card at top of each other, is in, that is ascending order in the case of these foundations, but it is in descending order in the case of these tableaus. So just remember that we are going to code, and I'm going to talk about these so many things in the lecture also. So we are going to do it from scratch. So see you in the next lecture.